Mac, a young man running in Colorado, out of nowhere, heard something behind him, turned around, and when he did, there was an 80-pound mountain lion who attacked him. Colorado Parks and Wildlife officials said the young lion bit the runner's face and wrist, but he was able to break free and kill the lion in self-defense. The agency said.
I mean, come on here. Every day that passes is another day, another point for Mac versus Wild. People always think, I might be fibbing or it's not the case. There's this is a countless time here added to the list where a human being has beat a lion. Now, a mountain lion, a puma, not quite, king of the jungle. But nonetheless, a lot of claws, a lot of teeth. And I need people to understand that if you can beat a mountain lion, you can beat a wolf. The wolf just has the teeth. The mountain lion has the claws. Now, listen, you're going to be scarred. You're going to be injured. You're not having a good time. You're having a bad time, but it's a fight to the death. I just, any sort of creature that you could conceivably choke out, there's a path to winning there. So I don't understand why so many people don't think they can beat animals that like 80 pounds, 80 pounds. That's a fucking what? A fifth grader, You could kick the shit out of a fifth grader. So people just got to get real. Like yes, I will have scars. I might lose a hand, maybe even to a mountain lion, but I'm fucking killing the mountain lion. That's for goddamn sure.
One, goo, three, yeah. Goo. Jaws 3. Goo. King of Queens. Goo. Meryl Streep. Entertainment.
Yeah, I'm Goo.
And I'm Mac.
And by the way, a fully grown wolf weighs 180 pounds.
No, that's the biggest wolf to ever exist.
Nothing goes over your head, does it?
No, you're probably talking like 100 pounds, 120 pounds for a regular wolf, which is still quite a bit smaller than me or even you. But yeah, if you're getting into the real large wolves, that's what we talk about, 150, 180 pounds. Still, I have a massive size advantage on the thing. I digress. Goo!
Yes.
We are here not talking about me beating up wild animals today, nor you killing wild animals today, which has been a recent occurrence. Today, we are discussing I Think You Should Leave season 3.
Yes, and much like the other seasons, it's one of those needs time to marinate in you. You need multiple viewings to truly appreciate some of these sketches.
Yeah, that's for damn sure. And we did that the last 2 times. In fact, we took 2 years before we ranked. We did a top 10 for season 1, and then we gave it about a month, I think, after season 2 before we ranked the sketches of season 2. We're about 3 weeks out from season 3 here, yep, which debuted on May 30th of this year. And I think, the biggest thing I learned from season 2, which wasn't necessarily the same as season 1, which, by the way, I still think season 2 is the best season of the 3. But the big thing I learned from season 2 is how much a sketch can move, because Crashmore was incredibly low on mine initially. And even when we ranked them, I had it in the teens.
Moves like jazz.
And then if you look back at season 2, there's a stout top 6 or 7 and Crashmore is in it. And I didn't have it ranked there. So that's on me. I was much more aware of that fact this time around. So gave some sketches I didn't love the first time around a little bit of time to sit, and didn't really go out of my way to dislike something immediately. So I would say we ended up with 26 sketches here.
So we didn't count the reprise of one of the sketches.
Yeah, the redux, the dive back in of the summer loving. So 26 in total. I think season 1 had 27. I think season 2 had 24. But season 2 had like 3 sketches they jumped back into. So, maybe you could call it 20, 26, 27. Goo!
Yeah.
This season, as the other 2 seasons, are 6 episodes each. TVMA, about 16 minutes each, too. So that cumulatively gives you about an hour and a half. So you can watch all 3 seasons in about 4.5 hours, which is dynamite. There's just
that's less than that. It's 6 15-minute episodes. You said 4.5 hours. That's way off.
with 3 seasons. Yeah, I said watch all
Oh,
3
they
seasons.
said for one season. I
Yeah,
thought your math
about
was
90
like,
no, about 90
I
minutes per
watched them
season.
all on -3x.
No,
Really
about
slow.
about 90 minutes per season. So that makes the rewatches
Yeah.
incredibly easy. You can rewatch a whole
Yeah.
season and the time it takes you to watch a movie, which is encouraging. Goo, not that this matters, but I'll run through it. The ratings of I Think You Should Leave season 3. 95% from the critics on Rotten Tomatoes, 75% from the audience, which is the audience scores here are very interesting. So to give you some context, season 1 was 96% from the critics, 67% from the audience, which makes sense. Season 1 is where you figure out whether you like it or not.
Yeah.
A third of the people said not for me. 2/3 said big thumbs up. Season 2, 100% from the critics, 74% from the audience. Now, I don't know who would have watched season 2 and didn't like it. I don't know what type of person that is, right? Because if you didn't like season 1, you're not watching season 2. If you did like season 1, maybe you still like season 1 more, but I don't know how you wouldn't like season 2. That just doesn't make any sense in my
Yeah,
brain
because for me,
whatsoever.
season 2, I needed multiple watches to truly appreciate how much better it was than season 1.
Yeah, and if we're comparing the 3 seasons, I think season 2 has the heaviest top, the most elite sketches. I think season 3 actually has the best bad sketches or best bottom sketches.
So I
should
disagree.
say.
I think some of the bad sketches here just are not funny.
Yeah,
but I'm
don't-
also expecting more out of them now than say in season 1.
I don't agree. I think there's of the 26, there's only one I dislike, and there's 4 or 5 I don't care for. But I think that's better than the prior 2 seasons. Season 1 was a little more up and down. Season 2 is more top heavy, although the middle is nice as well. I think the worst of season 2 is worse than the worst of season 3.
Do you think that season 1 has a girthier mid than what season 3 has?
Maybe.
Because I do feel like after the first maybe 10 to 11 sketches in season 3, there is a huge drop off. Not to like the point of that, like they suck, but like the top 10 in season 3 are great.
I have like a Mount Rushmore, a clear top 4.
Yeah.
And then like 5 to 13 are in the same range. And then like 14 to 20 are in the same range. So I actually think the girth here, the meat, the middle's pretty good. And they figured out what people like from this show too. They really lean into more of the stuff they made popular in the
Tim
first
yelling and mispronouncing words.
Yes, exactly. Which is why I think like the bottom 5 sketches here are probably better than the bottom 5 from the prior 2 seasons. Not that that matters. Goo, this show, of course, is created by Tim Robinson and Zach Kanan. Those two worked together on SNL and also created the show The Detroiters, which is incredibly underrated. It is a show that, much like this sketch comedy show, upon rewatches, it gets better and better because you immerse yourself more into the world and you also don't take it as seriously as you do the first time through. Also, Goo, writing credits here on this show. John Solomon has a writing credit on every single episode, all 18 from all 3 seasons. That's pretty good. And then Patty Harrison has a writing credit on 6 episodes. And a gentleman named Gary Richardson, who you would recognize if you saw him. He also acts in some of the sketches. Has 5 writing credits, and all 5 of those credits are from this season. So he had a heavy influence on season 3. And of course, Goo, if no one knows the story of how this show came to be, Tim, sort of agreed to part ways with SNL way back when.
Yeah.
And a lot of these sketches, at least the first season or 2, were sketches that were rejected or never stood a chance on SNL. And it was the Lonely Island Boys that teamed up with him to really get this show made. So the Lonely Island Boys are executive producers on this show and have been all 3 seasons. So credit to them for believing in Tim and getting this made. Do a synopsis of the show. Not that you really need one, but I think if you were explaining the show to someone, a good way to explain it to get them to understand the title would be this: a sketch show where Tim Robinson and his guests spend each segment driving someone to the point of needing or desperately wanting to leave, basically to be as annoying and cringe as possible. And now it doesn't work for some people. It works to the fullest extent for others. And even you and I, who both love all 3 seasons, we vary to the degree of what's cringe and what's not for us. And I think this is not the same. It's not necessarily a good comparison. But there's a reason why some people don't watch The Office or don't like The Office, right?
Yeah.
Because it plays into that cringe comedy. And so this is preying off that a bit too. Who the stars of the show, of course, Tim Robinson. And then on many episodes, we get Sam Richardson, Patty Harrison, Connor O'Malley, Brandon Wardell. Those are the most frequented actors. We also have Tim Heidecker in one episode from all 3 seasons.
Yes.
Gary Richardson in 3 episodes. Shantae Delon, who plays his wife in The Detroiters, is in 3 episodes.
Yes.
And
Yep.
Zach Kanan also in 3. And then Goo, our celeb guests for season 3, exclusive to season 3. Io Adibri, you would know her from The Bear. She's one of the characters from The Bear. She's the host of the VR Shopping Spree. Fred Armisen does is the dad in the Street Sets sketch. Tim Meadows is the father of the bride in that sketch. And then Jason Schwartzman is the gentleman that talks about his kids. And Goo, just to run through, or should you want me to run through the other 2 seasons, or should we skip over it?
Let's skip over that. And just very,
All right.
very quickly, let me ask you, who is your favorite non-Tim player?
It's Tim Heidecker. Easy.
Okay.
Easy. He's in 2 of my favorite, 8 sketches from the 3 seasons.
So I would have him, I think, at number 2. My top one would be Connor O'Malley.
Connor O'Malley's good, and Patty Harrison is very good too.
Yes.
But Heidecker's 2 best sketches might even be in my top 5. They're just that good.
But I would also, so Heidecker looks effortless when he's doing it.
Yeah.
O'Malley looks like he's putting every ounce of energy
Go
into
opposite
every
end of
single
the
sketch.
spectrums for
Yes.
sure. Yeah, it's funny. And Patty Harrison is more like O'Malley. Her sketch this season though just stunk, and it
was a
little bit
huge
sour
letdown
taste.
because I was waiting for this great punchline from her or from
Yeah.
someone in the sketch,
Right.
and it just never came. Mac,
So-
before we get to season 3, just tell me the best sketches as voted on by us from the first 2 seasons, each number 1.
So number 1, Goo and I agreed. Well, I think we both had it in the top 3, but we had gift receipt number
Yes.
1 from season 1. So Jacob
Don't
doesn't
have
touch it. I think
Down the hatch.
that is the sketch that ages best from that show.
Yeah.
It's the one on the 5th rewatch. You're like, oh, this is the best one. And then
Chunky
Goose-
also good. But go
Yeah,
ahead.
that's true. Season 2 was the ghost tour. That was
Yeah.
the one on my first rewatch that was the funniest. And then additional rewatches, you picked up on so many good lines, so many good reactions. That's probably still the funniest sketch, at least for me, out of the 3 seasons.
Safari Flaps is also great. And then also shout out to Crashmore. That was number 8 for us after season 2. And then over time, I wouldn't be surprised if he was either 3 or even 2 now.
Well, I think the issue there is you had it maybe in the 10-12 range, and I had it 18th. So I think that's what really fucked up its ranking. On a re-ranking, I'd probably have it 5 or 6, something.
It would be in the top 5. Probably Mount Rushmore, actually.
I don't know, because Goo, see, that's
If
why I
it's
think
us
season 2 is the best.
combined, if it's our vote combined.
Yeah, but season 2, Ghost Tour, Safari Flaps, you have Dan Flash's, Corncob TV, Everything's Upside Down, Sloppy Steaks. So that's
It might not even be in the
a
top
solid
6.
top 6.
God damn it.
And then Crashmore's right there as well. So it has 7 heavy hitters.
All right, Mac, I guess so without any further ado, let's start the countdown of the best sketches from I Think You Should Leave Season 3.
Woo!
And let's start with number 26. We each gave it 26, each our bottom sketch of the season, and that is Rat Mom from episode 3, which I thought was a huge waste of Patty Harrison.
Yeah, this is the one Patty Harrison sketch on the season, and she's a shining star in the first 2 seasons. This is the surprise party sketch where she reveals she keeps rats in her desk, and it's just not good. It's not particularly funny. It builds, especially on your first watch, it builds to a point, and you're like, oh, there's going to be a good payoff here, and then there's nothing. There's nothing.
What
at
is
all.
the chicken place in it?
I don't even remember. I don't.
Because that's the
remember
best
name of
joke
it.
from the sketch. Make a living now?
I think my favorite line is probably dogs are to Steven what rats are to me, as well as the chicken thing. So it's not the worst sketch they've ever done, but it's just not that funny and a severe disappointment.
Just is very, very disappointing. At number 25, the Metal Motto Search. This is from episode 6, 24 for me, 23 for you. The animation's kind of funny in this. This is the game show with Metaloid Maniac.
Yeah, Danny Green's photo wall of metal model search. It's funny the to say, and I really like the recurring. And by the way, we have a 25 cumulative. Outside of my bottom 2, they all make me laugh. So
Yeah.
when he keeps saying on the wall that he built, It gets me every time. That's pretty good. The issue, as you're going to see, I think, and it's a common thought we both have through these 3 seasons, they got to get Sam Richardson off that host character. It just doesn't do it. It doesn't play all that well.
Also, not to, raise one up by taking one down, but this isn't Chunky.
No, it's a worse version of Chunky, although I do on the wall that he built.
Moves like a bug.
The Metaloid Maniac will zip around.
At number 24 is Dirty Songs from episode 6. You had it at 19. I had it at 25. And Don Bonderly. He's meh.
Don Bondarley.
Sorry.
This actually keeps moving up my list, and I think this might end up in the mid-teens in a couple months. Didn't love it my first time through, and it keeps getting better. And there's some pretty good quotes in here. When Tim says, "Oh, I got you guys a surprise," and the guy to his left says, "Oh my God, did you get us Coke?" is a good line. And then the first song that old Don Bondarley sings is, "Oh, old Bart dog fuck had a dog a mile long, a dog a mile long had he," which is ridiculous, but it plays up a little bit more the more you watch it. And then the best line, though, and the one that absolutely kills me, especially on rewatches, is at the very end when he goes, "Now comes the time of the night when I face the wall and give you guys a chance to jack off." And then it just ends.
Sketch was okay. It wasn't that great.
It gets better. It gets better.
All right, Mac, we have a tie at number 22. Supermarket Swap VR. You had it at 25. I had it at 18, and I think this is great physical humor.
Yeah, this one was my least favorite or second least favorite on the first watch, and it just stayed down there. It's not that funny. It's a little too much. I get what they're going for. I don't know. It just doesn't really make me laugh, and it seems like a waste of the girl from the bear. I do like in here, my favorite line in here is, "I'm really crossed up."
Also, tied at number 22 is Seeing Things Differently. I had it at 21. You had it at 22. And I got a bunch of little chuckles in there. I did laugh pretty good at the dead body stuff. And also, don't tell him he's creative.
My favorite line is when they finally call him out and he's finally like, "Well, what? No. Well, like I look at this and it's like, it's not this. It's like a fucking, and then they're like, "What? Say it." And he goes, "It's a bloody cock." Like, what? Excuse me? I didn't know Office to Office.
At 21 is Friend Group. This is the Beck Bennett sketch. I had it at 22. You had it at 20. And I do like the $200 for the group of friends.
Oh, this has maybe a top 5 line. The sketch isn't great, but there's 2 lines in here in particular that really sell it and put it over. And the first one is at the very beginning, the guy sitting in the corner that ultimately Tim tells he doesn't have friends. He goes, "Yeah, my salad's lights out." Fucking killed me the first time. It gets better every time. And then I like them arguing about what he can do and what tiers here. And then he goes, "You have any friends?" "Yeah." He goes, "You do?" "No, you don't. You don't have any friends."
At number 20, tied at number 19. Another tie here,
Whoa.
Mac. We got Sidewalk Parking / Ponytail. This is the Will Forte sketch from episode 2. I had it at number 20. You had it at number 21. I think this could have been a bit funnier, but you get 2 pretty good laughs with the ponytail down below his butthole and the send a picture of diarrhea.
That's
I've already seen this one.
And by the way, we are now in the portion where all of these are funny. So even though we have it ranked 19th, it's still quite funny. I love that he says, "Now I got a car stuck in my ponytail and I'm fucked." The way he says fucked is perfect. And then when she first gets handed his phone, she goes, "It's all just screenshots of cigars."
Yeah.
And then when the other ponytail guy puts his hand in dog shit, the way Forte laughs is quite good.
Also at number 19 is Pacific Proposal Park, episode 4. I had it at 17. You had it at 24. And I did laugh the first time he said, "That guy's penis is red as hell."
Yeah, that's the only line in there that makes me laugh. He's talking about the wrestlers and toilet truck and whatever, and it just doesn't hit for me. But towards the end, he goes, "I saw his whole penis, and it was redder than hell."
That, and then also when he's like saying, "Oh no, this guy is also this guy." He's changing costumes. Like that was pretty funny.
Yeah. It's just it's the same, and I know it's dumb we say it because Tim plays essentially the same character, but the Sam Richardson character that he always plays just isn't that funny.
At number 18, and I had it 23. I didn't really love this sketch, and that is Shirt Brothers from episode 4. You had it at 17, and I think my big issue is it goes on way too long.
It goes on way too long, but then the payoff, at least for me, is super funny when the daughter has her little freestyle, her solo, and she's just like rapping. Fucking kills me. It makes no sense.
Okay.
I particularly love this because of like the emo song that's in it. It's like a sneaky good song, a catchy song. But the line that really makes me laugh, and this is the Biff Whiff sketch, and a bit of a disappointment considering how good Crashmore was. But when he says, I stepped out to drain the lizard, fucking kills me every time.
Also, shout out and sending love from Mac and Goo to Biff Whiff.
Yes. Yep. He's currently fighting some sort of cancer.
You got to give. Go to GoFundMe. You got to give.
He's got a GoFundMe going. So.
All right. At number 17, and this is played perfectly by Tim Robinson in this sketch. That is Gelutol from episode 4. I had it at 15. You had it at 18. And the way that he is able to move from like being in a commercial that is selling you the drug into just yelling at someone is a masterclass.
The guy that's the foil in this sketch is perfect too. Him just playing dumb.
Why didn't you tell him about it? I fucking hate that guy.
I don't like him. I don't want him to have hair.
Yeah.
And then finally, when he breaks down and says they're talking about sex, Tim just goes, fingering.
Yeah. What are you guys talking about? Fingering.
Fuck do I care? It's not called Jelly Tall. I've been saying it wrong.
And then he made his wife put the green jacket back on, even though she was hot, because it's a St. Patrick's Day party.
He thinks that's going to help.
Also, no one else at the party was wearing green, so it doesn't matter.
Not one person.
No. But great stuff. At number 16 is talking about kids. This is the Jason Schwartzman sketch. 16 from both of us, actually.
Whoa.
And, everyone here thinks I'm the coolest guy now.
This one definitely goes on too long, but there's some pretty decent laughs throughout. Hey, everybody, look, the dog's blowing me.
I think when the next guy sits down and says it, that was the funniest one.
I just like the idea
dog's blowing me now.
Tim's character goes out of his way. He's like, I got to make sure no one notices Jason Schwartzman's talking about his kid, so I got to do the most outlandish shit. So there's some decent laughs in there, but towards the end when Tim's finally over it and he has no more ideas, they're all just standing around and waiting for him, and the one guy starts humping the wall. And he goes, what about this? Is this something? And he's just banging the wall. No, let me think of it. I'll think of it.
At number 15, unanimous 14s by the two of us, and that is Dog Hair from episode 3. He wants the Cranston, and also, I am of the right mind right now to kill you.
Oh man, I am well within my rights to kill you. The thing that gets me here, and this is purely visual, is on the second, third, fourth rewatch, you notice in the restaurant on the date, he's not sitting regular. He's sitting a little hunched over, so the hair looks more like dog hairs, and it's fucking unbelievable. They just keeps like listening to the guys behind him. It's like this will never jump up on the list, but it makes me laugh every time.
Also, this is one of those sketches where you think it's going one way with the guys talking at the bar, and it goes a completely different direction.
Right. Dog hair? What the hell are you talking about? Dog hair?
All right. Tied at number 13, Mac. This is actually your number 5. I didn't love this sketch, and that is Street Sets.
Oh, I love this one. This one, outside of the driving crew, might have got me to laugh the most the first time through. Fred Armisen, he says, you kids have been so nasty to me lately. I had to do something. And he hires Street Sets to set up this fake fight where he beats up a kid. But then in the video, it's clearly like a 50-year-old man. And then he's commentating the whole time once he realizes it's terrible. And my favorite line, he goes, he kept saying if these stunts look good, he could get into the Jump Junkie stunt crew. I said, I don't care how this helps you get into Jump Junkies. And then the kid is like, who was shooting this? Who are you gonna say shot this? Brian from work. Yeah, Brian Cambridge.
I thought this was kind of a missed opportunity. I don't know.
Oh, I loved it.
I thought I don't know. There's something about this sketch that felt kind of hollow, like it wasn't filled in properly.
It's like the quickest sketch maybe in the whole thing, but I thought it was great. Maybe not perfect, but great.
Didn't do it for me. Also tied at number 13 is the live studio audience from episode 2. TKK Jewelers and L&L Limos are scams.
Another one that probably goes on a little bit too long.
Yeah.
And it's a real roller coaster ride. My favorite line is when he's describing how the watch exploded. He goes, bent wrist, thing fucking exploded.
I also loved in the limo, the wall kept on closing. And I saw this arm reach over, and he had the Super Bowl ring on. He's taking my ice.
The springs went in her soup. There was 300 springs in her soup. And then I think one of the best lines from the whole season, and he goes, you really can't do anything when someone says shut up. And then the guy behind him in the audience nods in agreement.
All right, here at number 12, a part of the Dirty Dozen. Barch Barley from episode 1, the first sketch of the season. I had at 11, you had at 12. And, once he starts losing an argument, he just pops on his phone. He slouches. What it sells it is him slouching down and doing it. He like tucks his neck in. And
if you start to win, I go on my phone.
I can go on here for hours.
I'll size you up and I'll cut you down. I have so much stuff on my phone. Music, apps, games, obviously. A medieval game, obviously. Obviously a jousting game. I love my phone.
It's a great sketch.
And then I think it's the third guest they show when he slouches and he says, my mom gets kidnapped. I'm like, what? And she's texting you about it? The guys are.
Put an apple in her mouth. Keeps talking under his breath, too. All right, Mac. We have a tie at number 10. Tie at number 10.
Top 10.
This one you had in the middle. I had at number 7, and that is the Darmine Doggy Door. And for 50 seconds, I thought there was monsters on the world.
Yeah, I got to be honest, Goo, and credit to us for not doing this initially. I had this second to last on my first view.
Mm-hmm.
Too much, too overboard. Didn't get it, didn't love it. And then I also was like confused because this is one of the first ones the internet loved. And I was like, it's just too much. It's overboard. But what really sells it to me on the rewatch, and it's still, not near the top for me, is when the fucking monster first comes through the door and Tim's sitting on the couch and he just goes, like doesn't react. It's so good. But I didn't know what the fuck was happening because I've barely been sleeping since my wife got flipped upside down by a swing dancer at a wedding.
This was the sketch that when I first saw it, I said to myself, this feels like him just yelling. This feels like him just leaning into what the other two seasons were.
That's why I didn't love it first time.
But like I said, after a while you watch it, you've already thrown a couple lines out there, but the way that he is just like maneuvering his body and the swing dancing line kills me.
And ultimately, I think why I kept moving up after my first watch is thinking about the idea that because this happened to him, the pig with the Richard Nixon Max, he invented a new doggy door.
Also on the world, once again, monsters on the world.
And the way he tails off while he's saying that is perfect too.
On the world. Also at number 10, back away, Banana Breath. What the hell did you just eat? A banana?
This one I wasn't sure if I liked the first time through because I was like, I
like that line. I like that line from the get-go.
What's going on here? But the way that other than Tim and a Tim character, maybe the Tim Meadows character as well, she's my favorite character from the whole season. She carries a sketch. Right? It's just her. Back the banana, it just doesn't make sense, and it's so perfect. And then when she's asking the woman next to her, just get it big and use it as a nightshirt. Just lounging around, big shirt, some undies. And then the guy saying he doesn't know how to do computers.
And he slips through the computer. By the way, there are some great shirts out there of people who took that computer, put it on there.
Oh, that's such a good idea.
So we didn't do it, but we
Back
could.
away, Banana Breath. What the hell did you just eat? A banana?
A banana? All right, Mac. At number 10, we have Mortal Enemies from episode 1. This is also known as the Team Building Workshop, and it all started because of the teacher. I'm not a teacher.
Maybe he walked in on me in a dream when I was about to have an orgy and he wrecked it. I think my favorite line from this, though, is when he keeps throwing the fake water on it and Rick goes, "Knock it the fuck off!" He just finally loses it.
My favorite line is he goes, "Oh, everybody hates you now because you came and you pulled my hair plugs up." When he said hair plugs as opposed to just hair, that's all I needed.
Every time you say that, I'm just going to keep doing it.
And then, so hyper, my life is out of control.
The final part when he goes, "I can't believe all that happened because the teacher."
All right, Mac. At number 8 is Tasty Time Vids, episode 6. I had it at 10. You had it at 9. I just slept with Frankenstein's chick.
This one's all over the map. I didn't know if I loved or hated this one on the first time through. But this is the Connor O'Malley one,
yes.
And he's fucking perfect in this. And in the office, when he's like, "That's Tasty Time Vids. That's me. You should check it out. I post really funny stuff. New funny videos starting today, every Friday." And then obviously, I think I just slept with Frankenstein's chick. And Tim reading the text messages in bed next to presumably his wife, who they never even show, is so perfect. And then the second or the third time they cut back to O'Malley, when he's like, "The woman that played Frankenstein's chick is saying that I paid her in fast food. They're saying I paid her in a Santa Fe chicken sandwich." Fucking unbelievable.
All right, Mac. At number 7 is Richard Brecker Jellybean from episode 3. What did I said Breck. I have Becker on the mind. Like always. I got Sam Danson. What the fuck am I talking about? Sam is his character from Cheers. I have Ted Danson. I just got Ted Danson, everything Ted Danson on my mind. Brecky Jellybean from episode 3. I had it at 9. You had it at number 7. What are you doing?
I'm just grinding harder at whatever he's doing.
Riding a fucking bike.
And if I talk, you get money, but I never talk. Don't just come here and
this old shit.
Yeah. Don't just come here and try and make me talk. I don't want to talk. I love this stuff. I love old stuff. Only come here if you like that stuff.
It's all frat boys, bachelor parties.
When he pulls up and gets out of the car knowing he's going to have a bad time, and he does showtime.
I'm going to make you talk.
But I never talk.
And then he has the counter in the back with like $171.
Now, here's a question to you, something I've thought of on multiple rewatches here. Is the crowd splitting that money, or is that the money per person?
I feel like each person has to get that.
Wow, that's a lot of cake.
Yeah, it's a lot of money, which makes it funnier.
I don't know how the theater's making any money.
No, it's him losing all the money. Let's go on to Goo's Juicy Six-Pack. And that is the Pay It Forward sketch at the drive-thru, episode 3. I had it at 5. You had it at 8. And I'm trying something. I'm doing something here.
Please
100 chicken fingers, 100 meatballs, 100 coffees, 55 chicken wings, 55 shakes, 55 pancakes, 55 pastas, 55 meal sides, hot peppers. Oh, she got hot peppers.
My favorite part of the sketch. And by the way, this might be the best idea for a sketch.
Yes.
It's just not the funniest one to me. But out of the whole season, I think it might be the best idea. When he beeps and the guy gets out of the car and walks back, he goes, "Hey, come on, what's going on up there?"
Yeah.
And then he says to the guy did it for you. You're the guy.
55 pastas.
And then when the woman behind him backs up at like 30 miles an hour,
which also she orders 55 of everything.
Yeah, it's so funny. I actually really hate the way it ends, where he just runs, but this is a great idea for a sketch.
Yeah. All right, Mac, at number 5, and this is the sketch I think got the heartiest laugh of a big surprise, and that is the wedding photo. This is from episode 5. We each had it at number 6, and when Tim Meadows puts the feather in his mouth and throws up, I fucking died.
3 seconds to think of something silly. That's fucking insane. It's not enough time.
It could be Barney.
The fuck am I supposed to do with a purple feather?
Cloth his hair.
And Meadows is so good at this. And then the guy he gets into the argument with about the businesses they own and shit, and the investments is so
Yeah.
Barney doesn't have hair. Will you shut the fuck up? He's like a cloth. Cloth is hairs. It's like tiny little hairs. Even his mouth has little hairs. He's cloth. Cloth is hairs.
Like I said, this is a really funny sketch. And when he throws up, like his thought is to first off, he reaches for like the sunglasses, and when he doesn't get this, like, oh shit,
Now the woman grabs him, so that he's stuck with the feather.
Feather.
And the only thing he come up with is to gag himself with the feather.
You could be a flapper. What the fuck is that? All right, Mac. Guess what is next?
Oh,
A three-way tie for number 2.
Whoa!
Yeah.
Classic Mac and Goo. I love that for us. So
All
this
right.
means, did we have the same top 4?
Roughly. Yes, we did.
Yeah, so that's why.
But it's all jumbled up.
Yep.
So this next one was my number 1, and the one where I said, this is a perfect I Think You Should Leave sketch, because you think it's going to be this like big, lavish sketch of like this big bachelor style event. And what it is in the background, Tim is obsessed with the zip line.
Now, as I said at the beginning of this episode, I have a Mount Rushmore. I have a top 4, clear top 4, and I think you can argue any of them as number 1, which is not necessarily like the other 2 seasons. For me, there was like a clear number 1 in the other 2 seasons. This top 4 is loaded, so it was your number 1, my number 4, but I'm perfectly fine if someone has this number 1.
We have Mike from Adventure 365 pulling too hard on the zip line.
Ronnie, all you do all day is go on the zip line.
And he rushes through dinner to go back to the zip line.
His response to that first part, he goes, I do like that you can drop into the pool, but I'm just trying to remember. He's too rough on the rope. He pulls on he wrenches on the rope.
What's also great too is that in the like opening credits of that, you can see him very small in the background using the zip line.
Yeah. And then when they're eating, how do you think your relationship is with so and so? Good. Runs and takes off
like a child.
And then obviously when they do the redux, it's just like him 3 times flipping and spinning into the pool. It's fucking so good.
Yeah. So that was my number 1. Then also at number 2 here, I had it at 2, you had it at 3, and that is feed eggs. What the hell?
I think that's the best line from the season is it's cut a bush. What the hell?
Also, I love the sight gag of him being talked to by 2 different people.
Yeah.
And he's just zipping eggs back and forth the entire time and reading what it says. And then he explains to them what is happening. And they're in complete horror.
But my favorite part is he's not telling them anything. And then finally they realize he's not paying attention. So then he lets them into what's going on. That one egg was 40 eggs. I don't know. I've never gotten here before. Porn.
You should be allowed to look at a little porn.
That's a nude egg I won from my game. I'm not in trouble at all.
I also love the was it hey big boy, you're looking at a nude egg.
Yeah. And then, hey, would you like to buy 80 more eggs? And he says yes and types yes. Kills me.
Also, this has been the one that has gotten the best like internet either memes or photoshops.
Yeah.
And the best one of that is from Arrested Development of Buster holding the 2 eggs. This is what I want at war, mother.
It's got a bush. What the hell? Porn. It's a nude egg I won from my game. I'm not in trouble at all.
All right, Mac. At number 2, you're driving with the driving crooner, baby.
This one on the first watch. On the first watch, I was only able to watch the first episode, and this is the last sketch of the first episode. It fucking killed me. And to your point, like you were talking about before, this takes such a hard left to where you think the sketch is
going.
It's
a huge soft open of like, hey, if you ever need someone to drive you while you're drinking, just let me know. I'll come pick you up.
Fuck! They're trying to make it look fake. And then the passenger is like, what? You're driving.
There's people who want to kill me, James.
You got to be right next to me to make it look real. Right next to me. Fuckers. But my favorite line from this whole spiel is when the guy's walking his dog. Fuck, he's trying to steal my decals. The way he says decals fucking murders me.
I think he was just walking his dog.
Fuck, he's trying to take my decals. Oh, it's so good. It's so good. The first time through, that was the hardest I laughed, was on this one.
And then at number 1, and you had
Drum
it at
roll,
number
please.
1. I had it at number 3, and I really can't argue this. This is such a great sketch. And that is the ABX heart monitor from episode 3. Tim Heidecker, Club Aqua, Club Haunted House, and I was jacking off.
I think maybe why I didn't laugh as hard at this one as maybe Driving Crooner, especially first time, is because you have to read some text for it, so they're not actually saying it out loud. But as I said with Pay It Forward, other than that one, this is probably the funniest idea from the whole season. Like, your doctor that you go to, your cardiologist, is now monitoring your heart 24/7, but he's so jealous of your social life, he's trying to weasel his way in. I really want to check out Haunted House. I actually want to go to Haunted House more than I want to go to Aqua. And then when
he goes to Haunted House and he leaves his wife outside. All right, I'll see you later.
And then that's unbelievable. But the first time he texts him, there was a spike last night where you at Haunted House, and then Tim just says, I jacked off. And he says, for 15 minutes. And then the next night, your heart's going nuts right now. Are you at a Haunted House? I'm jacking off. No, you're not. I'm outside. Come get me. And then he comes outside, and the bouncer asks the wife too, and he goes, no. He hugs and kisses his wife, pats her on the back, and they just part ways.
Yeah. Best sketch of the year.
So
but let me ask you this,
so
Mac. Where would that sketch rank, say, in season 2?
That's a great question. So let's look at the top of season 2 here. Let's look at what we had at the top of season 2. We had Ghost Tour number 1, Safari Flaps 2, Dan Flashes 3, Corncob TV Coffin Flop 4, Everything's Upside Down Carl Havoc 5. So maybe 4th or 5th, maybe in that range for me.
Yeah, it would be top 10.
Yeah, and then you get Sloppy Steaks and Crashmore. It could maybe even move up to 3. I think the top 2 though, Safari Flaps and Ghost Tour, are locked in top 2 there.
All right, Mac, let's quickly recap our top 26 sketches from I Think You Should Leave season 3. And that is at number 26, Rat Mom. At number 25, Metal Mono Search. At number 24, Dirty Songs. At number 22, we've got a tie, Supermarket Swap VR and Seeing Things Differently. At number 21, Friend Group. At number 19, we've got another tie, Sidewalk Parking, Ponytail, and Pacific Proposal Park. At number 18, we have Shirt Brothers. At number 17, Gelutol. 16 is Talking About Kids. 15 is Dog Hair. Tied for 13 is Street Sets and Live Studio Audience. At number 12, we have Barch Barley. Tied at number 10, we have the Darmine Doggy Door and HR Meeting / Banana Breath. Back away, Banana Breath. What the hell did you just eat? A banana? At number 9, we have Mortal Enemies. At number 8, we have Tasty Time Vids. At number 7, Richard Brecky. At number 6, Pay It Forward. 5 is Wedding Photo. And then we have a 3-way tie at number 2, Summer Loving, Feed Eggs, and The Driving Crooner. And at number 1 on the list, the ABX Heart Monitor.
I love it. I love the list. Our cumulative top 4 was my personal top 4, not in the same order, but to me, Heart Monitor, Driving Crooner, Feed Eggs, and Summer Loving are a top tier in and of themselves. So I love that those were the top 4.
Let's get into MacSack.
And MacSack could be anything it could be about. And Mac, let me ask you this. I Think You Should Leave has now given us 3 really good seasons, 3 great seasons. Where do you put it in the pantheon of sketch comedy television?
This is a hard one for me because it's really hard to say that this is better than the Chappelle Show.
I agree.
Because the Chappelle Show defined a whole era, and we'll be talking about the Chappelle Show for eternity.
Chappelle Show also had more episodes per season. So technically, even though it only had 2.5 seasons, I think it still has more minutes.
And I also think that I'm not gonna say it's more relatable, but like it's more grounded in reality, even though it gets ridiculous. You know what I mean? So it's in that respect, it's maybe a little more relatable. But I don't know. I don't know if anything will ever surpass Chappelle's Show.
Yeah.
But I do think this is approaching it if it's not already there. It's right. It's on the cusp of it. It's right behind it. It's a 1B or a 2, whatever you want to call it. And then I think I'd have Key and Peele third. I love Key and Peele. Key and Peele also went out on top. Didn't have too many seasons. I think they have 3 seasons, I want to say. And that's consistently funny as well. There's a couple incredible all-timers in that sketch. And then, of course, you have more like 90s stuff like Mad TV, but there's a lot of misses, a lot of good single characters that they had multiple sketches of.
Flowers to Michael McDonald.
Yeah. Yep. And Bunny Swan, who is what's her face? She voices Lois in Family Guy as well. Alex Borstein.
Borstein, yes.
But yeah, to me, it's Chappelle 1. This is 2. But I could see if there's a 4th season that's as strong as the first 3, it just might overtake Chappelle. But it's hard to grasp that or wrap my mind around it.
So obviously SNL has been around for a million years. It's done a million sketches, but the consistency there isn't great.
Like
but it
Simpsons.
turns out superstars. Let's not ignore that. Yeah. I do agree that Chappelle is still better to me, but this has a chance of surpassing it soon. I'm also a huge fan of Kroll Show, which did have similar type of extreme comedies to it and taking big chances and big swings, but this is better than what Kroll gave us. Kroll also, I believe, had 3 seasons and also pretty much went out on top with, where it was as a cult show.
I hate that show.
I don't care.
I don't
care what you think.
I mean, it's because I don't really love Nick Kroll, although he's great with Big Mouth. I just, to me, and it is similar to this because Kroll is in every sketch, essentially. He's not nearly as funny on screen as Tim Robinson is.
Dr. Armand is pretty great.
Yeah. I mean, I can't pretend I've watched every episode, but he's no Tim Robinson.
His best friend is Kelsey Grammer. You're getting married again, Armand? Mad TV, also pretty funny. Very hit or miss with their sketches.
Will Sasso, Michael
McDonald. The Ben Stiller Show, only 13 episodes on Fox. He left SNL because he was not the main star there. He thought that Mike Myers was better than him, and he's like, I'm not going to be able to pass this guy, so let me go do my own thing, and he did, and there are some really funny sketches in those 13 episodes of the Ben Stiller Show.
Ben Stiller, I'm not going to say he's like Tim Robinson, but I think Ben Stiller's humor plays better when it's in that Robinson vein, when it's meaner, more PG-13 R-rated, as opposed to more of the PG stuff.
Well, also, I'm pretty sure that on the Stiller Show, I don't have IMDb up right now, but I think Odenkirk was one of the writers on it because he's on the show.
Yep. He also...
Mr. Show.
Ben Stiller in his season of Curb is an incredible cunt. Such a good See You Next Tuesday. And I honestly find him funniest when he's playing that character.
The Muppet Show. That's sketch comedy, and they're puppets.
That's true. It's a good one.
Kids in the Hall. We had that shoved down our throats on Comedy Central, and they're like, hey, we're not going to play SNL now. How about some Kids in the Hall? Portlandia.
Yeah.
All that.
Actually, Portlandia is very underrated because no one talks about it.
All that.
Yeah. Yep. We grew up on that. That's for sure.
In Living Color. Gave us tons of stars out of that. Also, pretty consistently funny for just 5 seasons, 6 seasons.
Yeah.
And then Old People Love Monty Python.
Yeah. So there you go. Honorable mention for
I don't think Monty Python's funny. Am I stupid?
You don't even. Wow. All right. Yeah, I find Monty Python in general funny. But...
I mean, we've always thought that you're the intellectual of this show, though. We've always said that about you.
We have. I mean, I am one with animals. You are killing them on a daily basis.
No one would ever expect the Spanish Inquisition.
I'm like Craven the Hunter. I can communicate with animals.
And I'm like the dad. I see
Craven
a
said,
lion.
"You're
Yeah.
a dead Russian man."
Yeah. I see the lion blood, falling onto someone. And I'm like, good. Let him die.
Yeah,
That's what I
off with
say.
his head.
Yeah. That's what I say. So,
Mm.
all right. Well, looking forward to season 4 in 2
Yes.
years.
Which, yeah, it'll probably be 2 years because we got season 2, 2021. This came out 2023, so 2025. There you go. After after King Dynasty?
Yeah,
We'll get
cloth
it?
his hair. Cloth his hair.
When he tells the photographer ever to shut the fuck up. That's so good.
All right, Mac, where can the people find us?
You can find us on Twitter and on Instagram at Mac and Goo Podcast. Every other platform, we are Mac & Goo. It's Mac Shift 7 Goo. It includes Facebook, Stitcher, TuneIn, Castbox, Spreaker, Google Play, iHeartRadio. More importantly than Spotify, we're on Apple Podcasts. Rate, review, subscribe 5 stars. If you do that, we'll get you a free t-shirt from the folks over at Watertown Sportswear. That's Watertown Sportswear on 34 Mount Auburn Street in Watertown. WatertownSportswear.com. Expert screen printing and embroidery.
tpublic.com. Merch. Go and get this shirt. We have Driving Crooners shirt, baby. Also, check us out next week for a nice cornucopia of topics. Also, a nice Mondo news dump. We had one of our biggest dumps of all time this past week. A lot of stuff going on there. Plus, we talked for 10 minutes about, dead raccoons.
Rocky Raccoon went into his room.
Tuesdays are Goose Days.
To find Gideon's Bible.
I abuse kangaroos. Now it's time for girls jumping on trampolines.
Bye.
Please flip the cassette over to side B to continue the adventure.